Hi, it's Paul, and in this video I'm an old man with what may be the final episode in my quest to try and replace my aging Ryobi Ergo cordless screwdriver, which is a good little screwdriver. Those of you that have sat numbly through the whole series of videos will know that I bought this to replace it. So Ryobi Ergo now does not exist. It has been replaced by the 4-volt range, which this is one of. This is an RSDP4 with a removable battery. I'm not a great fan of it because it has a power limiter on it. This does not have a power limiter on it. This just keeps, but this has a power limiter on it, and when it reaches the alleged torque of 5 Newton meters, it cuts out, which is a pain. In the last video I showed again a practical demonstration of this driving screws against this driving screws, and I said at the time I'd ordered something to replace the Ergo because the Ergo is getting old and tired. It's had a hard life, and I've bought this, still green but a different green. This is a Parkside cordless screwdriver, whatever you want to call it. So in the documentation, rated at 5 Newton meters, the Ergo. In the documentation, the RSDP4 and its counterpart, the RSD4. RSDP4 has a pivot in it and will go pistol grip or straight line. The RSD4 is just a pistol grip only, does not have the pivot assembly. So all listed at 5 Newton meters. So 5 Newton meters, 5 Newton meters. And while I was having the conversation with my kids about what they should buy to replace, I was doing a bit of a query online, and I found a couple of other units. One that's sold by Screwfix, which I couldn't find the rating of, but that retails for £15, so that was tempting. But I then spotted this Parkside. So this is the Parkside PAS 4D7. And what fascinated me was maximum torque. I don't know if you can read that. If it doesn't come out, I'll put a photograph up. 10 Newton meters, so it says. 5 Newton meters, 10 Newton meters, double the power. Now we're talking. So I've bought it. Along for the ride, purely out of interest, I've also got my wife's Bosch XO or IXO. This is the original XO from, I've no idea how long ago, long time ago. Came in a very nice metal tin, and on the specifications in the book it tells me that this has 4.5 Newton meters, so slightly below everything else, so it's probably going to perform badly, isn't it? Maybe. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them all to the same test as I did in the previous video with a big piece of wood and some 2.5 inch or 60mm screws. So let's crack on. Okay then, in the lineup we have from one end the Ryobi Ergo, the Ryobi RSDP4, the Bosch XO original, and the new, to me, Parkside PAS 4D7. All just come off the chargers, and let's see how they do. Repeat the test I did yesterday using different screw holes. that's pretty much as that can do, but there you have it. So that is my old ailing Ryobi Ergo. It used to be much better than that. It no longer is now, and that's partly why, because I've done stuff like that. This is the RSDP4, which has the power limitation that stops you doing stuff like that. But the power limitation, as I keep going on about, is just too extreme. And there it is. That has stopped. If I just tilt the camera up a little bit, and I'll do it from this side, I'll show you. There's the trigger will go in, and it cuts out almost straight away. I'm now going to let go of the trigger, and it will reset itself. If you could see under here, you'd see the red light come on. I'll do it again. One little twitch, and it overloads again. My issue is not with the fact it's got power limitation. My issue is with the fact that the power limitation is set too low. If I wanted to, I could probably carry on like this for hours, quarter turn at a time, and maybe eventually the screw would go right the way in. But we haven't got enough time left in our lives for that. So let's bin that. Let's, for the sake of comparison, use the little Bosch IXO. This gets very little use. It's used gently until today. And let's see what this does. I think that's the result, really. So this is supposedly only 4.5 Newton meters, but look, there's the proof of the pudding. Again, no cutout, so makes me happy. Probably doesn't make the motor happy. That would have smoke come out of it in a minute. And finally, let's go with the park side. First use, let's see what this does. Okay, that's just cut out. I don't know, I wasn't watching the lights to see what it did, but that actually has got a power cut out. Now, what I will say, I've just noticed I'm getting quite close to the knot here, so the wood is probably quite a bit tougher just there than it is elsewhere. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to repeat the process a little further away. We'll do it here. And that's just cut out. It's about the same height off the finished face of the timber as the Ergo reached. This cuts out. It does have a safety cut out on it, which is interesting, but I'm happy with that because the safety cut out, in my opinion, is a far better position, or a far better time span, loading, whatever you want to call it, than the one on the RSDP4. That is exactly my problem. So, gotta be honest, the original IXO, which again, you still can't, it's not available anymore, that performed best out of all of them. Maybe that was a little bit weaker timber, maybe the fact there's a screw hole here already affected it, who knows. I haven't got enough time in my life left to discuss all that. But these three I am very happy with. This is fabulous, but you can't get it anymore. This is fabulous, but you can't get it anymore. This is available now, it's what I've bought. This is available now, it's what I've bought. I'm not happy with this one, I am happy with this one. Now you've seen how it performs then, but let me tell you what else I like about this Parkside. £19.99 I like. I don't know whether it's still currently available. I usually get my Parkside tools from Aldi or Lidl, can't remember which one it is. One of them sells Parkside and the other one sells Shepak normally. Anyway, I got this on eBay, paid £19.99 for it, and it comes in a nice plastic box, and it comes with a cutting tool which will cut like fabric or paper or cardboard or not desperately heavy materials. It comes with a right angle drive head. It comes with an offset head, so if you're trying to put a screw in right up next to a, I don't know, a skirting board or a wall or something, you can get in close up. Offset head. It comes with a torque limiting head, so you know, like if you get the big drill type combi drivers, there's usually a clicky thing on it that you can select that it releases the chuck at whatever the torque is. Doesn't usually tell you the torque rating, but as you're putting the screw in or as you're doing whatever up, it sits there and goes and stops turning, and that's the clutch slipping. There's a little torque control head. It also comes with the standard relatively low quality screwdriver bit pack and a budget charging cable. And for £19.99, even if it only lasts me a year, to be honest, I'm going to live with that. I'm well happy with that. These are about £40–50 now, just for the no, that's a tool with a single battery, but no extras. I think the Bosch is probably about £65 or something like that. But as you've seen, the Bosch is actually quite capable. The IXO is on version 8 now. I can't remember what the torque setting was, but it was higher than this. I think that might have been up 5.5, 6.5, something like that. I don't recall. Go look up. You can't buy this one anymore. This is old. So yes, I am properly happy with this. Yes, it's Parkside, but everyone's opinion of Parkside is exactly the same as it is with Ryobi. Oh, only idiots buy Ryobi and Parkside or whatever. Well, these days, I'm just a DIYer. I only use this stuff occasionally. I don't use it for a business. I do not use it on a daily basis. And for the amount I use, balanced against the amount these tools cost, for the DIYer, I believe they are cost effective. If you are a tradesman, you wouldn't be using a cordless screwdriver anyway. You'd put everything in with an impact gun because that's what influencers tell you you've got to do. I disagree, but who am I? If you're a tradesman, you buy the quality equipment and you offset it against the tax. That's an entirely different scenario. So there is no, in my head, debate about, oh, you should invest in good tools. If you can afford to invest in good tools as a DIYer, crack on. I have some Festool equipment. It's very, very good. It's punishingly expensive. I also now have Parkside. I think I have 2 other Parkside tools. One is a multi-cutter, like a mini disc saw, bigger than the one that goes on this, but cuts through everything, and it is awesome. It's a cabled tool. It's not a plug. It's not a cordless. I also have a cabled Parkside sander, little disc, vertical disc sander. It's useless. You couldn't sand a match on it. You put anything small against it and it just stalls the motor. It's got no power. So there's good and bad in everything. I've got Ryobi tools that are bad. I've got Ryobi tools that are good. The angle grinder I've got is gutless. I got the cheapest one of the range. It is gutless, but it does for what I want. I just treat it gently. If I've got something I want to do heavy duty, I've got a cabled Bosch one from years ago, which will go through everything. I've got a 9-inch cabled, don't even know what make it is. It's even older. It's probably 30, 40 years old, aluminium case. So tools is tools is tools. You buy what you can afford that hopefully will do the task. But this, at the get-go, I am impressed. If I'm still using it in a year or two and it's still going, I will review it again and I will say so. But for the time being, my quest is over. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.